Now what is fertilization? It is the union of the gametes, that is the male and the female gametes, to form a diploid zygote. Now where is this process taking place? This process takes place in the ampulla. Now what is or where is ampulla? As I told you before, the oviduct or the fallopian tube can be divided into three regions. The funnel shaped part is known as infundibulum. The part next to it, which is little bit broad, is known as ampulla, and the narrow tube like structure, which is known as the isthmus. So in between this region, that is ampulla and the isthmus, fertilization takes place. Now the process of fertilization being very complicated, but we have to understand it in a simple way. What is this fertilization? During fertilization, the sperm has to enter into the vagina. That process is known as insemination. So the first, that is gamete transfer. Gamete is being transferred by the process of insemination. This is known as gamete. Here we are talking about the male gamete. Male gamete is transferred into the vagina of the female, and this process is known as insemination. Male gamete transfer to vagina. So this is gamete transfer. Now what happens? In one ejaculation, there are around 200 to 300 million sperms which are released. Now these sperms, we know they are motile. Now motile sperms having the tail, they can swim through the vagina. Now there is something else also which helps them. It is the prostaglandins. As I have told you, use this word before. Prostaglandins are secreted by the seminal vesicles, which actually help. What do? They contract the vagina. That means it is something very similar to a peristaltic movement, anti-peristalsis. That is, it pushes, the contraction happens from lower part to the upper part, which pushes the sperm upwards towards the fallopian tube. So the sperms are itself mobile, plus the prostaglandins that is which causes the contraction of the vagina and pushes the sperm towards the fallopian tube. But the sperm has to face a lot of obstructions or rather barriers also. Now what are these barriers? That is, out of these 300 or 200 million sperms, only 100 are actually able to reach this fallopian tube. Then what happens to the rest? They all die. Why do they die? The first thing, that is, it is the pH. pH of the uterus. It is acidic. So this kills the sperm, first one. Second is the uterus, the endometrium being, it is at this time, it is invaginated. It is highly invaginated. So what happens? The sperms are unable to pass through them. There is, even being motile, there is difficulty or the passage becomes very narrow. Other than this, there are more factors which prevent the movement of the sperms. There is another type of cell called phagocytes. These phagocytes are present in the uterus. What happens? These phagocytes engulf or they kill the sperms. So out of the 200 to 300 million sperms, only about 100 reach the oviduct or the fallopian tube. Rest, all of them die. Now number of changes are happening while the sperm is moving upwards. The first major change that we will see, that is, it is called the maturation of the sperm. It is called maturation of sperm. what happens? We have seen that this is the head of the sperm and the nucleus. The nucleus is covered by a cap-like structure which is known as the acrosome. Now this acrosome, the wall of the acrosome becomes thin because it has to break down. As it is about to reach the ovum or the oocyte, that is the secondary oocyte, it has to break. So it is actually preparing itself to release what? Lysine. So that release of lysine, the breaking down or rather the thinning of the acrosomal wall starts before or while it is moving from the uterus towards the fallopian tube. Now the second part, what happens is, that is, we can consider it as the third part. The acrosome having the lysine. Lysine is not just one chemical, it is a composition of 3 chemicals. Now prior to that, here everything, that is the ovum, has a chemical on its surface which is called fertilizing. So it is anti-fertilizing and fertilizing reaction. What happens here? The fertilizing which is present on the wall here and the anti-fertilizing is actually present on the sperm. These are very species specific. You have to remember this. These are species specific. That means the fertilizing is going to bind with the anti-fertilizing of the same species. So what happens? This 100 sperms are going to be further reduced because there are limited number of fertilizing on the sperm, on the egg surface, and each fertilizing can attach maybe 3 to 4 sperm. So rest of them, they don't get attached at all. So this is a way of reducing or killing the sperm. I am repeating this part. That is, a reaction takes place between the surfaces of the 2 gametes. A chemical called fertilizing is present on the surface of the ovum, and a chemical which is present, which is called anti-fertilizing, is present on the surface of the sperm. Now these 2 chemicals have to join. They will only join when structurally they are similar. Suppose what I am talking about is something like this. Suppose this is one of the, and the sperm has structure like this. That is anti-fertilizer. So this head can come and fix here. This is the fertilizer and this is the anti-fertilizer. So this structure can fit. So that is a way of identifying that whether they are of the same species or not.